What's going on? What's going on? It is your boy, Smooth Blaze, and I would like to re-welcome you to Under Reconstruction, Transformation of the Mind, the Body, and the Spirit, Session 3, Part 4. Now, before we get into all the major things regarding this week, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, select that notification bell and hit all so you will not miss one video. Now, previously on last week, what we discussed was the idea of how often are we committed to God? How much time do we invest in Him so He can invest back into us as far as from the spiritual side, and also understanding exactly where we need to be in life. So for this week, the big question of the day is, do I only speak to God when I'm struggling? So we always say God is our everything, God is all to us, but in so many instances we treat Him as if He just somebody I holler at when things are going wrong, or somebody I just use and manipulate throughout this process just for my conveniency, and that's wrong. So at the end of the day, here's some examples, or a few examples of some things that we do that we may not really understand. 1, having a family member who only reaches out to you when they need something. We all got that. Where, hey man, I need this money because my bills is due, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna pay you back, but you never do. And it's just like, why keep reaching out to me about it? You don't care about how I'm doing financially. You don't care about what my family is doing, but you want something from me. That's first example. Second example deals with a promise to pay a person's back but never follows through. We all have people in our family that say, look, let me hold $50. I'm gonna pay you back next month. 2 months later, they reach out again. Oh, I need to borrow $40. Like, hold on, why you gotta borrow some money from me when you ain't paid me what I was already owed, period, from previous time? So let's try to make this make sense. Example 3. Running a successful business, but your accountant is falsifying documents, meaning that, man, I think the business is doing well, I'm running it properly, we making all this money, but at the same time, the numbers ain't lining up. Why are we in debt? Knowing that somebody is manipulating these funds into destroying us internally, which is calling us to go bankruptcy. Those examples kind of give you an idea of what it means to manipulate somebody or use somebody. And as I really did a little research on the word manipulation, this is the best definition that I came up with. Manipulation is a skillful, handy, controlling, or use of something or someone. Meaning, there's a skill to deceive a person. There's a skill to use this person to manipulate to get the things from them, and they don't realize that they're being used. So it makes me think to myself, how often do I manipulate God? Only when I need something, or only when I'm in a situation where I'm doing well? It really makes you reflect over these things constantly and consistently. So as we go through these things, just sit back and really reflect over your life and figure out, am I a manipulative person? Because if I am, how can I make those adjustments? So for me, here are some tips that I use to keep God with me through the good and the bad times. Number 1, put yourself in God's position or His shoes. Meaning, just imagine if you were God. Just imagine if you were the person in control of everything, and all you ask is praise, appreciation, and every time your child comes to you, all they do is say, I need this, I need that, and you give it to them, but there's no real appreciation. So put yourself in their shoes. That's 1. 2, realize that God is always in control. Meaning, no matter what we do, even though we have free will, God regulates what goes on around us, behind closed doors, and all these things. So we really don't understand exactly how much control He has, because we feel like we're in control, but God humbles you real quick and realize that you're not in control. Number 3, Read the word to understand how God works through people. There's been many examples through the Bible where they use people like Noah, King Solomon, King David, use these persons, and you see the benefits of what they do as far as following God's process, but you see the negative side when you step away from it. So always keep that in mind and bear with me on this, because these are things that I'm working on for myself as well. But we have to understand where we are to know where we're going. Read the word. Number 4, your response to trials and tribulations shows how deep your connection is with God. I've been at fault for being down on myself or feeling like I'm not good enough for certain situations, and when things come my way, sometimes it does discourages me. However, I had to realize that those trials and tribulations are building me into who I'm supposed to be. So always keep that in mind. Don't allow these trials and tribulations to be a hindrance to you. It's an opportunity for you to grow within God and allow God to have complete control over what you're doing. So keep that in mind. Number 5, God wants to bless, but he requires work and consistency. Man, this is tough because God is trying his hardest to bless us. Just tithe, just give your offerings, just sow a seed, just do all these things, because you're not doing it for the church that you're at. You're doing it for the benefit of giving God what is owed to him. But at the end of the day, when you're consistently grinding, you're consistently working, you're consistently trying to get closer to him, you're consistently putting in the energy, you're consistently pouring out God all the time, no matter where you go, that's showing God that you want this bad. So what he gonna do is make sure you got everything that you need and something. The only thing he requires is work and consistency, because we all know faith without works is dead. So keep that in mind as well. And last but not least, number 6, remember that God gave you the tools while you were in conception. Meaning, before you were born, God knew you. And he knows what mistakes you're going to make. He knows the good things you're going to do. But he put all the tools within you, so once it was ready to blossom, it was going to be able to be a beautiful thing. But you got to remember, don't think that you doing all this stuff. You have to remember whose hand was on you during the times where you couldn't take care of yourself. So always keep these 6 steps in mind. This is what kind of redirects me to make sure that I'm doing things properly and in order. So before we close, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out to listen to your boy. And at the end of the day, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also select that notification bell and hit all so you will not miss one video. It is your boy Smooth Blaze. But before I sign out, just remember this phrase: we cannot control the hand that was dealt for us, but we can move with a purpose. Again, it's your boy Smooth Blaze, and I'm signing out. Peace and love.